In this video, I will talk about handling missing data. Missing data is everywhere. Most datasets you'll get will have missing data of some kind or another, and you will need to learn how to deal with the missing data. There are three types of missing data. The first type is where data is missing completely at random. So you have somebody completing a survey, they forget to answer a question, and therefore you have missing data. This type is not a big problem because it doesn't really change the results. The next type is where we have missing data and it's missing for a reason. So young people, for example, don't like answering questions about their income. We can fix that, but it does become more complicated. And finally, we have data that is missing for a reason, but we don't know and we can't see why or that it is missing. So people, for example, when you're surveying people about drug use, they might not like answering the questions about drug use, and it becomes very tricky to then impute the missing values. So why do missing values matter? Well, understanding why data is missing helps us get more accurate results. It reduces bias, it makes our research more representative and equal. It also makes our findings more trustworthy. As mentioned, missing data is completely common in social sciences. We just need to learn how to deal with it. So, again, a point I made early on in the previous video on cleaning data is you do need to understand your data. You need to understand what it's telling you and why data might be missing. So, how do we deal with it? Well, the easiest way is to just leave it blank. So in your data set, you just have a blank or NaN that indicates that it's a missing value. Once you've done that, two things will happen. There's two ways of dealing with that missing data once you run an analysis. One is listwise deletion. All that listwise deletion it deletes every row with missing values, no matter whether there's two values missing in a row or three or one. What it does do, it reduces your data set significantly. So in the example here, you see there was 5 rows of data. Now there's only 2 rows left. Listwise deletion can be used when you have very few missing values because it does significantly reduce your data. Now, every time you run an analysis, it only runs that analysis on the remaining rows of data in your data set. The next way of dealing with it is pairwise deletion. So in this case, the computer only deletes the row when you're analyzing that data. So for example, if you're running an analysis on age, you notice there's one missing value. So it works with 4 missing values in this particular case. If you're running an analysis that combines age and monthly income, it will delete 2 rows of data because there's 1 value missing in monthly income and 1 in age, and so on and so forth. So here, how many rows are deleted depends on how many variables you're using, and also what variables you're using in an analysis. Generally, you don't need to worry too much about pairwise or listwise deletion. Most programs will decide for you, and they will generally use pairwise deletion. But sometimes you will have to choose, so you have to know what the difference between the two is. There are, of course, more advanced methods of dealing with missing data. The first one is that you can calculate the mean, median, or mode, and use that and input that in the blank space, in the missing value space. Again, you have to think about which one best represents the missing data. Maybe it's the median, maybe it's the mean, maybe it's the mode. For categorical data, it's always the mode, for example. There are more advanced methods than that. These tools use things such as regression and machine learning to calculate individual missing values. So the missing value will not always be the mean, it'll be different values for each different person. Again, computer programs do this for you. It is important that you choose the right method. Look at how much data is missing, think about why the data is missing, and consider what kind of information you already have and what information you're working with. And then select, are you going to leave it blank? Are you going to use mean, median, average? Or are you going to use more advanced methods? Again, remember, if you're putting rubbish into the machine, you will get rubbish out. Finally, always remember to record what you're doing and why you're doing it.